Hello everybody, this is Skip Elsheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime Streaming Show, where we are pre-recorded today. Normally I'm there, but I am at a conference, and I'm going to be talking to librarians and fellow archivists about audiovisual media and how to identify it. And so I figured today I could do a show that would be related to that. It would be a thematic show. First thing we're going to watch is a silent film that I'm sure had a soundtrack, but they have not found it. This is from the Prelinger Archive. It's AV tape, record, and play film, and tape splice. So I think that it was just some raw footage they didn't know the title for. Then there's a film by RCA called Living Stereo, and it talks about the exciting new technology that is stereo, and two formats, including this odd audio cassette, which I actually have one of them, and a player. Then the Audio-visual Supervisor, which is a person who's in charge of the AV department at a school. And then this odd film, CBS introduced this format, which was called EVR. And the premise of it was that it was this film that you can play on television. And got a lot of people very excited, but it proved to be basically, in order to do it, you had to work with their facility to make them, and it was very, very expensive, and it didn't do very well. And I actually had one of those that I donated to UCLA. I think it was an episode of a TV show. And then finally, we're going to wrap it up. I'll wrap it up with Recorded Live, which is a wonderful film that I saw on HBO back when HBO was not 24 hours and would have little short films in between major films. And this is a wonderful film about videotape. Thanks for watching today. If you like what you saw, hit the thumbs up. You can also donate via the Super Thanks button, or go to ko-fi.com/avgeeks or patreon.com/avgeeks. It'll be great to see you in the comments. I don't think I'll be able to actually watch it because I think I'll be in a panel. But everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you soon. Take care.
This is Bob Baggs, Marketing Manager, Radio and Victrola Division of RCA Victor.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle. It's dramatically new. It's an RCA Victor exclusive, made possible only through years of research, inventions, and innovations. Living stereo, played on a record, through the all-new 2-in-1 RCA Victor stereo orthophonic high-fidelity Victrolas. In this speaker, you can hear the left-hand section of the orchestra predominating. In this one, the right-hand section predominates. And together, they give us the fullness of living stereo. Two separate and distinct soundtracks. One from one side of the orchestra for one speaker system. Another track from the other side of the orchestra for the second speaker system. Yet both are coming from one record, one groove, picked up by one stylus. Almost like playing two different tunes on the same violin at the same time. To understand how this can be done, let's first recall how regular one-track recording is accomplished. Sound waves reaching the microphone are changed into impulses of electric current. Increased in strength by the amplifier, they flow to the cutting head, moving it back and forth and cutting from side to side in the groove of the record. To play it back, we substitute a stylus for the cutting head. The tip of the stylus swerves back and forth, side to side in the groove, bending the ceramic bar to which the stylus is attached. When a ceramic bar is bent, tiny impulses of electric current are produced. These impulses of current, again strengthened by an amplifier, are carried to the speaker, where they are converted back into sound, the same sound we had at first. Now let's compare a regular record groove having only one soundtrack with the revolutionary new living stereo groove having two separate soundtracks. The soundtrack made by one section of the orchestra is on this side of the groove, while the soundtrack from the other section of the orchestra is on the other side. To play it, we use a special stereo pickup, developed, designed, and most important, manufactured by the Radio and Victrola Division of RCA. In this pickup, the stylus is fastened to two ceramic bars instead of one. As the tip of the stylus moves to the right, it bends the bar on the left, producing impulses of current. As it moves to the left, it bends the bar on the right, again producing current. Now let's take another look at our living stereo record groove with its two separate soundtrack impressions, one on each side. In cross-section, it looks like this. A V-shaped groove, 45 degrees on each side. Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove. As the record turns, the right side of the groove reproduces the sound from the left-hand section of the orchestra. The left side of the groove reproduces the sound from the right-hand section. Now, both at once, two totally different soundtracks coming from one groove, on one record, with one stylus. This is living stereo. It means that stereophonic recording has been brought down from a relatively expensive hobby into the price and convenience range of the average family, giving them the tremendous musical experience of living stereo, and doing so at popular prices everyone can afford. They will come in a brilliant variety, every kind of music for every kind of taste. Along with the new records comes a complete, dramatically new line of RCA Victor 2-in-1 stereo orthophonic Victrolas, covering the entire price range. All models will play monoraily as well as stereophonically. In other words, it will play any record, whether 78, 45, 33 1/3, 16 2/3, or the new living stereo record, and all in thrilling new living sound. In addition, for those customers who have purchased or may want to purchase new orthophonic high-fidelity Victrolas and who may at a later date want to convert to living stereo, RCA Victor will offer amplifiers, stereo pickups, speaker cabinets, and the necessary leads to permit a simple and inexpensive conversion. And now, while Ferdy Grofe's brilliant and beautiful Grand Canyon Suite is being played, you are going on a ride on the diamond tip of RCA Victor's new living stereo stylus as it plunges down through a canyon of sound where music is made. Living stereo on RCA Victor's new 2-in-1 stereo orthophonic high-fidelity Victrolas. RCA Victor again is first, the first in the industry to announce a complete new line of 2-in-1 stereo orthophonic high-fidelity Victrolas. It's the most tremendous new musical experience you can have, and now it's available for everyone.
Through the years, RCA Victor has built a tradition of continually introducing new ideas and products to bring new thrills and pleasures to millions in home entertainment. In keeping with that tradition, RCA Victor now offers a completely new development for new listening enjoyment with tape. Watch this. How long do you think it takes the average person to take off one tape and thread in a new one? 2 2/5 seconds? 32 1/5? Or 1 minute and 10 seconds? Let's find out. Ready, set, go. 2 2/5 seconds exactly. How did she do it? Here's how. The new RCA Victor conceived, developed, and designed tape cartridge for easy magazine loading to make playing a tape as simple as or even easier than playing a record. Simple, convenient, practical. The first truly sensible approach to tape. But that's only part of the story. The new cartridge cuts basic tape costs to 1/4 of what they used to be for the same playing time. And here's how. The old reel-type stereo tapes carried 2 soundtracks, one for each speaker system. The new cartridge tape carries not just 2, but 4 tracks, 2 in each direction for stereo or 4 tracks for monaural, giving twice the playing time for the same length of tape. For monaural home recording, all 4 tracks can be used, giving 4 times the playing time, giving you more uninterrupted music than is possible from a full stack of 45 RPM records on an automatic phonograph. And there's even more. On the old type tape recorders, the slowest speed at which music could be satisfactorily recorded and played was 7 1/2 inches per second. But now, high fidelity music at the new low speed of only 3 3/4 inches per second, made possible by the development of precision-controlled RCA Victor sound heads and precision-balanced motors, the product of 4 1/2 years of research. and to be manufactured in RCA Victor's own Cambridge, Ohio factory. 1 whole hour of stereophonic music or 2 hours monaural in a single tape cartridge. In the past, stereophonic tapes like this one gave about 36 minutes of music and cost about as much as 3 LP records. But with the new tape cartridge with easy magazine loading, living stereo will be available at a cost of a little more than 1 LP record. Along with the new tape cartridge goes a complete line of brand new RCA Victor tape cartridge recorders and players in a complete price range to put the ultimate in high fidelity music listening and home recording pleasure within the reach of everyone. All models both play and record, while all the stereo semi-automatics and fully automatic models record stereophonically as well as monaurally, bringing the new thrill of living stereo to home recording. All models feature a fast forward action as well as a fast reverse for editing and selection. All models also feature an automatic shutoff that turns off the machine when the tape has finished playing. The tape is now completely rewound, ready for playing. No need for rewinding. The new tape cartridge is at all times ready for play. The new RCA Victor Deluxe models include the completely automatic features of reversing and shutting off, playing up to 2 hours of music at the push of one button, making it unnecessary even to turn the cartridge over. Presto, tape reversed, sound head switched to the B track, all without the touch of a hand. And now some more features of the dramatically new RCA development. For easy, convenient indexing, you have first the footage counter, giving you an indication at all times of how much tape has been recorded or played. Second, 2 conveniently located windows to provide a further visual check on how much tape remains on each reel. Third, for easy reference, the first side of each selection is labeled A, while the second side is labeled B. Conveniently packaged in a rugged polystyrene case that keeps the tape protected against damage. A package actually containing twice as much music as is found on the conventional 7-inch pre-recorded tape reel. All in one small, neat cartridge that does not need a spare second reel for winding and rewinding. A simple brake holds the reels firmly, prevents tape unwinding and fouling in shipment or handling. Virtually foolproof. When the cartridge is magazine loaded in position to play, the brake is automatically released. 2 easily removable screws permit the cartridge to be opened to edit or repair the tape. No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen. All cartridges include a special feature that makes accidental erasure of pre-recorded tapes impossible. So simple, so convenient, so practical, so easy to use, and with all the unquestioned advantages of tape, now ready to move the tape recorder out of the closet and into the living room where it belongs, as part of the newest and most exciting home entertainment center for the entire family. One more keenly significant example of RCA's aggressive leadership, playing a vital role in developing a dramatic new product to further and advance a great new industry, the tape cartridge.
Never before have so many children and youth crowded into our classrooms. Today, nearly everyone of school age is in school. They are there to learn about the people, places, and events of a world which has grown smaller and smaller through modern communication. Because these students work in classrooms, it is necessary to recreate somehow the world's experiences in these same classrooms, and in such manner that students can fully understand and learn. Today, it is possible to provide needed learning experiences through a variety of methods, audio-visual methods. This modern language laboratory, for example, has been developed through the cooperative work of teachers, administrators, and an audio-visual supervisor. Everywhere, groups of teachers and supervisors are at work planning what subject content information pupils are to study and learn about as they advance from grade to grade, subject to subject. And working with these teachers are experts in the relatively new professional field of audio-visual education. This audio-visual supervisor is assisting the teachers as they plan for the wise selection and use of films, maps, tapes, film strips, globes, models, specimens, through which course of study plans can be brought into lifelike reality in any classroom. In several thousand school systems, audio-visual supervisors are now at work. Let's look in on Jim Stern, audio-visual supervisor. Like others in this new field, Jim has been a teacher, and now, as one of the school supervisors, he has been paying particular attention to this growing audiovisual center. Today is inventory day, and Jim is reminded of the department's rapid growth. From a small beginning a few years ago, more and more modern teaching tools have been acquired, including teaching films and film strips. A few years ago, there was only one sound projector. Now there are many sound projectors, and in addition, film strip, opaque, micro, overhead, and slide projectors. All were added because he and the teaching staff have increasingly planned for audio-visual methods to be used in day-to-day classroom teaching. Jim's responsibilities cover a wide range, all the way from helping to organize community study through field trips, to assisting incoming teachers who wish to learn what is available in the audiovisual field. In this day of high teacher turnover, one of Jim's continuing tasks is to acquaint new teachers with audiovisual materials. A continuing task is to help new teachers operate audiovisual materials, to requisition it, and to know what is available. The modern teacher is a student of child psychology, of learning, and subject content information. But beyond that, the modern teacher must know how to select and use modern teaching tools to increase learning efficiency. Through descriptive subject catalogs like these, Jim explains how films, slides, and other audio materials may be secured at the time the teacher believes pupils may best profit from their use. Teachers have many questions, and Jim has many answers. Jim continues to introduce the new teacher to the many resources of the center. He invites her to preview materials so that she may see and hear and judge for herself which of these many materials she will later wish to use in the course of her classroom instructional plans. As the bell regulates the school schedule, it also guides the many and varied activities of the audiovisual department. While the teacher knows about audiovisual methods, many schools encourage pupils to help in the operation of audiovisual equipment. Where possible, the students help with the use of audiovisual materials in their own classrooms. At the same time, they are helpers and learners. Often, students who have the interest and ability help with the maintenance of the teaching materials and equipment. Like many things in our present technology, audiovisual teaching equipment must be kept clean and in good working order. Jim often has to make minor repairs on the equipment. But many of the more routine tasks are handled very well by student helpers. The audiovisual department helps produce a variety of teaching materials that cannot be secured commercially. Pupils who are particularly interested or gifted are given the opportunity of learning how to use effectively such new tools as the airbrush. New vistas of occupational opportunities become known to the student, and new skills are acquired which may not be ordinarily learned in the course of formal classroom instructional work. Other audiovisual center production employs the use of copying devices which make possible the rapid completion of overlays, slides, or transparencies for use on overhead types of projectors. In more and more audiovisual centers, there may be found collections of the newest graphic arts tools, machines, and techniques, useful to teachers who seek constantly to visualize difficult-to-understand ideas and concepts. Today, several hundred manufacturers and producers, too, are in the business of creating audiovisual learning materials. As new film strips, tapes, or teaching films are produced, Jim Stern helps with the task of selecting those which will be useful in providing needed learning experiences in a manner which is above and beyond that which can be done with more traditional learning materials. During many open periods of the school day, evaluation and selection groups like this may be at work at the never-ending search for better teaching materials, better audiovisual teaching materials, through which the increasing demand of more and more to teach and less time to teach it may be met. The best use of audiovisual materials takes place amid the work-study atmosphere of the classroom. In the process, little details may interfere which are beyond the skill of student operators. When this happens, Jim Stern, who is almost always near at hand, is available for help. Quietly and skillfully he offers assistance, and with little or no interruption of the classroom routine. In this room, as in many classrooms, light control makes possible the use of audiovisual materials at exactly the time the teacher decides the learners need and can benefit from their use. Pupils and teachers plan together the things they wish to learn. They anticipate new words and ideas they may encounter, and soon are ready to listen, to see, and to learn. All know what is expected, and all help in the teamwork of the group. As the projector is switched on, a new experience about the world and its meaning is made known to these learners through the realistic and lifelike medium of sight and sound. In more and more school systems, the audiovisual program has grown into a major area of the administrative organization. In more and more cases, the full time of an audiovisual supervisor is demanded. He reports the audiovisual budget needs to the superintendent. He bases his plans on amounts recommended by the National Education Association, a minimum of 1% of the instructional budget, or from $4 to $6 per year per pupil in average daily attendance, through which to provide a beginning yet effective audiovisual program. The full-time audiovisual supervisor is an important member of curriculum planning committees. Here, he discusses new audiovisual equipment and materials, tapes, film strips, and films, the best of which members of the committee will incorporate in the new courses of study they are preparing for their own and their colleagues' use. The audiovisual supervisor frequently assists at departmental meetings. Here, science staff members examine new micro-projection equipment, which allows an entire class group to witness movements and changes occurring among microscopically small one-celled organisms. New and effective teaching ideas inspired through such demonstrations will be incorporated in future science teaching plans.
An interesting responsibility of most audiovisual supervisors is to describe their program to the community.
History is very difficult to understand, let alone read about. In order to improve our teaching of history, we begin by actually recreating the things and experiences of history itself. We examine historical artifacts, such as this exhibit of the colonial period. And historical documents. We may display pictures of architecture, and this is Mount Vernon, and we often show costumes, such as this colonial tricorn. Finally, we are ready to turn back the clock through the use of an appropriate film which recreates history. Now, museum people have supplied information about costumes, about manners of speaking and vocabulary, and historians have described the events. All this has been reenacted by skilled actors who actually live the situation. The result, which is the history teaching film, is a vivid experience in reliving episodes of history. Now, following our classroom study of a film, our students read. The greatest measurable effect of audiovisual use in teaching history is in reading improvement, as indicated by this chart. You will notice by the red line the increased improvement in vocabulary building. The control group was not able to gain as much in vocabulary as the experimental group, indicated by the red, which used film. And on that note, I would like to refer a question to our librarian here at Niles School. Miss Randall, when we use film strips, models, and so forth, as we do in instruction here, what do you observe happens? What happens in the reading that pupils do? Would you care to come up and answer that?
Thank you, Mr. Stern. I once was concerned, but no more. 5 years ago, our teachers began to correlate films with other classroom activities. When a film is tied to the specifics of a lesson, a student's interest is naturally awakened. To answer the questions that are raised, he must turn to books. Today, students are doing nearly twice the library reading they once did, and the words they read are more than symbols. Audio-visual images have made them more meaningful.
The work of the audiovisual supervisor is permeating the structure of professional education. As this is happening, over 500 teacher training institutions are establishing courses and centers of audiovisual education. Here we find teachers in training at work exploring the resources of this field, exploring the overhead projector, which permits the teacher to watch the reactions of the class while images appear on the screen, exploring audio materials, disc and tape, which encourage learners to identify themselves with the materials or to evaluate their own performance. These students are attempting to master the intricacies of projection equipment. These will be the teachers of tomorrow. From this group may come many of tomorrow's audiovisual supervisors and administrators to continue the highly professional and effective work of improving instructional opportunities for the youth of our land. Through audiovisual teaching and supervision, our educational system can continue its forward progress.
That's it. Hold it. Fine.
What you see here is a standard television receiver, exactly like you have in your home or business. However, there is a complete difference because you're about to view a communications technique that'll do many startling things, such as this. And this. And yes, even this. Hi, I'm Bob Hill, representing Columbia Broadcasting System's Electronic Video Recording Division. I want to thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule to view EVR. It gives me a particular pleasure to bring to you this new communication system. This particular system has captured the imagination of everyone who has seen it perform. There are three basic components that go to make up EVR. The EVR cartridge, which I hold here in my hand, the EVR player, and a standard home television receiver. And in that order, I would like to give you a brief summary as to how they all mesh together to make CBS EVR the communications system that it is. Let's start first, if I may, with the cartridge. The EVR cartridge is very small and compact. It is 7 inches in diameter, 2/3 of an inch thick, and contains 750 feet of film. There are 180,000 individual picture frames here on this film format that I'm directing your attention to. EVR is broken down into 2 channels, a channel A and a channel B. Both of these channels contain 25 minutes of running time. Therefore, you have 50 minutes of playing time on 2 monochrome channels, 25 minutes on each track. Now, there are no sprocket holes in the EVR format, unlike other films, which prolongs the life of the product. There is a magnetic sound stripe down the perimeter of the film on both tracks. You can program independently each channel if one desired. Now, in our processing facilities in Rockley, New Jersey, we can accept the following formats for conversion to EVR: 35 millimeter, 16 millimeter, videotape 1 inch, and videotape 2 inch. All can be converted to one communications medium, and that being EVR. Now, why don't we move over to the player and see the rest of our system? The EVR player is compact and completely portable. Built under the lid of the player itself is a handle for portability. Located on the right-hand side of the EVR player is a simple control panel. In operating the EVR player, one simply lifts up the lid of the player, places the cartridge over the spindle, and locks it in place. It's done automatically. You press the play button, and you transmit a signal to the television receiver. You noticed how simple it was to load the product into the player itself, for it threads automatically through the player. You're viewing EVR in a well-lit room. And examine, if you will, the high-resolution TV image on the screen itself.
Her face is her fortune. And her future. Understand, Dr. Von
EVR, in the installation of this system itself, is extremely simple. All one needs is a thin dime, for you have a lead that comes out of the back of the EVR player that goes direct to the antenna terminals of any standard television receiver. And I'm sure you recall my doing it earlier in the program. Now, EVR can be used in a one-to-one situation. By that I mean one EVR player to one television receiver, or you can use this EVR player for 5 television receivers, 10 or 20. Or for that matter, you can feed this into a standard CATV and master antenna distribution system. Now let's take a look at some of the real unique features of EVR, and makes it one of the most exciting communication systems that there is today. First of all, the still frame capability. I have selected one of the 180,000 frames that I showed you earlier in our film format. And I have selected that particular frame at my own election. Now, built into the face of the player itself is a crawl mechanism that allows us the freedom to be able to go frame by frame through the entire cartridge, 180,000 frames. Now think, if you will, for a moment. This could be a page in the book, a diagram, a bit of information. For example, if you were moving too quickly in a classroom situation or a teaching situation of any type, you could go in reverse, or you can scroll as fast as one desired. So what I'm pointing out to you here is the storage capability of an EVR cartridge is almost limitless because you've got 180,000 bits of information contained in a small 7-inch cartridge. Now, not only can we go frame by frame, but we can go from track to track, from one channel to the next channel. And if you recall earlier, we showed you Mission Impossible, which you're viewing now, and then we showed you Robert Frost on another track. Very slowly, I will go to the other track and show you Robert Frost. And I mentioned, if you recall, that you could program independently, as you're viewing here. We have Robert Frost on one track, and we have Mission Impossible on another track. What this could be is an English program, and this could be French. This could be the question, this could be your answer. This could be your 1969 line of automobiles, and here is your 1970 line. Complete flexibility from track to track. You can activate the player and continue on the other track if one desires.
Where the thought comes in, the force comes in, the wild force. My friendship lately in Washington has been very strange to me. It's blundered into, and I'm very much...
I am now going to place the player in the stop mode. I'm doing this so I can explain the very next feature with the EVR system, and that's the ability to seek out other information further into the cartridge. Built into the player is a fast forward and a fast reverse. By pressing the fast forward button, I activate the player. You will see nothing on the television screen, but I will seek out additional information or programming material, whatever the case might be. I then stop the player, activate the machine, and we're well into the cartridge.
Mighty contiguity of shade. That's fun, isn't it, that way? You know, we're taught that they're going to change to the...
You can not only go forward, but you can go in reverse. So at your own election, you can recall as much information as you desire, as frequently as you desire, and at your own pace. While the player is in motion, if one desired, you can still go from track to track.
Yes, this is Arnoldo's handwriting.
Why would he plan something like that without letting one of us know?
My husband was always...
I'm going to press the stop button for one moment to make another point and to show you another feature. When the player is in the still mode, there's absolutely no audio whatsoever. Let me do it and show you again the importance of this feature in a teaching situation.
Of simpering little romance.
This allows you, the teacher, the instructor, the sales manager, or whomever, the opportunity to interject one's own personality and bring that subject forth. I might add, and you probably already noticed this, EVR is completely silent. You are not competing with a 16mm projector or any other type of mechanical device. Nor am I lowering the house lights or setting up a 40 by 40 screen. You're viewing a program on a television receiver that's common to everyone.
What does it matter why he did it? What could work into our plans better?
In order to rewind our programming material, you never have to touch the product. You simply press the stop button and the rewind button. It is all done automatically within the EVR player. You simply open up the lid, reach in to the well, and remove the EVR cartridge, which was the program that you were just viewing, completely sealed and ready for library use. EVR offers you the complete freedom of choice, viewing what you want, when you want it, and as often as you like. I thank you and hope you've enjoyed our demonstration of EVR, a development of the Columbia Broadcasting Systems Laboratories.
Dear Mr. Ames, your resume indicates that you may be just the person to assume the managerial duties at KLRN-TV and free me to continue my work in sensitized videotapes. Don't be put off by our present limited facilities. The success of my experiments will soon permit KLRN to capture a much larger share of the viewing public. Sincerely, W.H. O'Brien.
Get me the police. Yeah, I'm in trouble. There's this big...